You're standing at the counter. Your family Honda or Toyota SUV is sitting in the parking lot. You came in for a set of all-terrains because the dealership sold you the adventure trim, and now you actually want to drive it up a fire road. Two boxes on the counter, same size, stamped on the sidewall, same specs. One set costs you $220 more, and that gap is real. That's the BF Goodrich Trail Terrain sitting at $245 a tire, and the Falcon Wild Peak sitting right next to it at $190, $55 per corner. The guy behind the counter taps the BF Goodrich box and nods. He tells you it's the tougher tire. He tells you the Falcon is just a crossover tire. Here's what he doesn't tell you. BF Goodrich hasn't been an American independent company since 1990. That famous American off-road logo has been owned by a French company called Michelin for the last 36 years, and every tire that has rolled out of that BF Goodrich brand since has been running Michelin money, Michelin compounds, and Michelin markup. Here's the other thing he isn't telling you. Almost every all-terrain tire on that wall is a truck tire scaled down, built for a body-on-frame pickup, then squeezed into an SUV size and sold to you. Your crossover has a unibody. It handles differently, weighs differently, and demands a different tire. Bolting a truck-tuned tire onto a family SUV is why your neighbor complains her all-terrains are loud, hungry on gas, and rough on the highway. I've stood on that side of the counter. I've watched drivers hand over $200 extra for 4 tires because the sidewall said something familiar. Most of them didn't need to, because when you pull the curtain back on the SUV all-terrain aisle, 7 of the biggest names come from just 4 parent companies. 4, and only one of them actually built the tire for the SUV you drive. Today I'm walking you through all 7 the way I'd walk my own family through them. 6 of them are overcharging you. 1 isn't. And by the end, I'm handing you the 5 checks I run before I let anyone I love bolt a set of all-terrains onto a crossover. 5 checks, no shop needed. Run them and no salesman on earth is moving you off your money again. Let me start with the loudest name in the aisle. Michelin, the LTX line, and let me give it fair credit. If you drive a big Tahoe or a Suburban and you want a premium all-terrain, the LTX is beautiful rubber, real engineering, real tread life. Here's the problem for you as an SUV or crossover owner. In your common sizes, the LTX runs $240 to $320 a tire before mounting, before balancing, before disposal. And the tire was designed around big body-on-frame SUVs and half-ton trucks, not around your unibody Kia or Mazda. So you're paying flagship money for a tire that's technically overbuilt for what your family SUV actually does. And here's what nobody at the counter mentions. Michelin doesn't just sell you Michelin. They also own BF Goodrich. They also own Uniroyal in North America. That French company owns 3 of the 7 names you're comparing on that wall, and every one of them is priced to protect the Michelin flagship on top. My verdict on Michelin: real tire. Wrong tire for a crossover, priced like a Rolex. Second name, Continental, the Terrain Contact. And this one is going to hurt because Continental has genuinely earned its reputation. The Terrain Contact wins Tire Rack's on-road all-terrain test in 2026. It's the tire the reviewers love. But watch the price. In the common mid-size SUV sizes, the Terrain Contact runs about $245 a tire. Set of 4 out the door, you're pushing $1,200 before you have driven a single mile. And here is the reveal. Continental hopes you don't catch. Continental doesn't just sell you Continental. They also own General Tire. They've owned General since October 1987, when they bought it for $628 million. That German company runs 2 brands on your local tire wall. Terrain Contact at the top, General Grabber in the middle. Same corporate parent, same compound science, 2 price tags. My verdict on Continental: legitimately best tested. Also legitimately priced to protect the badge. Which brings me to name number 3. BF Goodrich Trail Terrain. This is the little brother of the truck-focused KO, purpose-built for SUVs and crossovers, and this is the one that stings. BF Goodrich was founded in Akron, Ohio in 1870. First American tire company to build a radial. Their rubber crossed the country on the first car to ever do it. Real American story. But that story was sold in 1990. Everything you have bought under that badge for the last 36 years has been engineered under Michelin, built in Michelin's plants, and priced by Michelin's finance team. Now, the Trail Terrain is a decent tire. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. But when a set of 4 comes to almost $220 more than the Falcon sitting right next to it on the same wall, you're paying for a flag that got moved to Clermont-Ferrand, France in the year 1990. My verdict on BF Goodrich: good tire, American story, French pricing. Before I go further, one quick thing so you know where I stand. Nobody pays me to say any of this. No tire brand, no retailer, no sponsor. Every brand I've called out and every brand I'm about to praise earned its spot, or got exposed by the same 5 checks I'm about to hand you. That's the whole reason this channel exists. And it's the only reason you'll be able to trust the 7th brand when I tell you it's the one that isn't fleecing you. All right, framework time. Checks 1 through 3. Check number 1. Load rating. Every SUV all-terrain tire has a load rating printed right on the sidewall. Here's the trap unique to crossovers. Your unibody SUV was engineered for standard load or extra load, not the heavier truckload ranges you see on pickup tires. If a shop tries to sell you a truck-grade tire because it looks tougher, they just sold you a stiffer, heavier tire that will kill your ride comfort, murder your gas mileage, and stress your suspension. Match the rating to what's on your door jamb. Never overbuild for a crossover. Getting this wrong isn't a wallet issue. It's a drivability issue. Every mile you own the car. Check number 2. The 3-peak mountain snowflake symbol. Look at the sidewall for a little mountain with a snowflake inside. That symbol means the tire actually passed a severe snow traction test. A lot of SUV all-terrains marked M and S have never passed that test. The mountain snowflake is the real winter certification. If you live anywhere it snows and the tire doesn't carry it, walk away. Getting this wrong means finding out in a January storm what your tires actually can't do. Check number 3. Find out who really makes it. This is the check that saves you the most money on SUV all-terrains. In the next 3 brands, you'll see the same pattern I already showed you with BF Goodrich. Half the time you'll find a giant sitting behind the middle shelf brand, selling you the same engineering with a smaller markup, and the flagship badge tax evaporates. Look up the parent company before you fall for the badge. Getting this wrong means paying premium prices for the exact same corporate rubber. Before I hand you the last 2 checks, let me talk to you the way a friend would over coffee, because I am tired of watching good people get worked over at that SUV counter. Picture yourself standing at that wall again. 7 brands, 6 of them owned by 4 companies. And the guy in the matching shirt walking you toward the badge with the biggest margin. When you drive a crossover, the flagship tire wasn't even designed around. That is the badge tax with a side of wrong tire tax. That's why I built the Off-Road Buyer's Playbook, a 3-volume pack that hands you every one of these shelf checks and every parent company reveal I use. So you walk into any counter reading that sidewall better than the man trying to sell it to you, and the upsell just stops working. The exact checks in this video are broken down step by step in the books on real all-terrain brands. No filler, no brand deals. Scan the QR code on your screen or hit the link in the description or the pinned comment. Your next set of all-terrains is coming whether you're ready or not. Coming up right after this, the last 2 checks, 3 more brands you've been sold the wrong story on, and the 1 brand that actually engineered its tire for the SUV you drive. All right, back to it. Checks 4 and 5. Check 4. The out-the-door price with every rebate applied. All-terrain tires are one of the most rebate-heavy categories in the entire market. Manufacturer instant rebates on sets of 4. Warehouse club instant discounts. Credit card rebates. That premium quote you see on the shelf is almost never what people actually pay. A Costco rebate can knock $60 or $80 off a set of 4. A tire chain promo can push another 100 off. The only number that matters is the total on the receipt when 4 tires are on the ground. Getting this wrong is how a price gap looks like $200 on paper and $400 in reality. Check 5. Read the treadwear warranty, then cut it in half. Manufacturers publish mileage warranties like 50,000, 60,000, 65,000 miles. Those are best-case scenario numbers. Real-world all-terrain tread life on a crossover is usually 65 to 80% of the number on the box, depending on rotation and inflation. A 65,000-mile warranty that costs $100 less across a set of 4 is often the better math than a 60,000-mile flagship. Getting this wrong means paying premium money for premium promises the tire cannot keep on a family SUV. 5 checks, load rating, 3-peak snowflake, real manufacturer, out the door with rebates, and honest treadwear math. Run those and no counter guy is moving you off your money. Now let me hit the 3 brands most SUV drivers assume are independent, honest alternatives. They aren't. Cooper Discoverer. For decades, Cooper was the honest American value pick. Then, in 2021, Goodyear finalized the acquisition for approximately $2.5 billion, and Cooper became a wholly owned subsidiary of the same company that sells you the Wrangler at the top of the price ladder. Same corporate parent, same margin targets. The Cooper is still an okay SUV tire, but the scrappy American alternative story died in 2021, and the pricing has crept up ever since. My verdict on Cooper: better than it pretends to be, not better than the actual honest option waiting at the end of this video. General Grabber. General Tire looks like an independent American brand. It has an American name and an American history going back to 1915, but the independence isn't real. Continental has owned General since 1987 and positioned it as their value tier badge specifically to sell you last-generation Continental compound technology at a lower price. The engineering is real. The story you're being sold isn't. My verdict on General: genuine Continental engineering at a lower price than Terrain Contact. But do not walk in thinking you found an underdog. You found a value tier the Germans built on purpose. Goodyear Wrangler Territory. This is Goodyear's SUV focused all-terrain, and I'll give it fair credit. It's quiet, it's comfortable, it's built for exactly your family, CRV, or Outback. But here's what Goodyear hopes you don't notice. In independent testing of all terrains, Goodyear consistently posts one of the highest cost per 1,000-mile numbers in the segment. My verdict on Goodyear: comfortable, correct concept, priced at the top of a ladder the same company also owns the bottom of, which leaves me one brand, the seventh name, the only one that passes every check without a caveat: Falken, the Wild Peak Trail. Here is why Falken is different, and pay close attention because this is the whole point of the video. Every other brand I just walked through built their SUV all-terrain by taking an existing truck tire and shrinking it into crossover sizes. Falken didn't. The Wild Peak Trail was engineered from scratch for unibody crossovers. Different center of gravity, different weight distribution, different steering response than a body-on-frame truck. Nobody else in the segment did that. Everybody else adapted. Falken built. Falken is owned by Sumitomo Rubber Industries, a Japanese company that is the 6th largest tire manufacturer in the world. Sumitomo also owns Dunlop globally as of May 2025. Same R&D, same compound science, same plant network the top 3 tire giants have. Here's the difference. Sumitomo isn't part of the North American premium pricing structure. They aren't protecting a Michelin flagship. They aren't protecting a Continental flagship. Falken competes on price to win the shelf, not on story to protect a legacy. Sumitomo engineering, priced against Cooper and General instead of against Michelin and Continental. Watch how it hits the 5 checks. Load rating, available in standard load and extra load, matched to what your crossover door jamb actually calls for. 3-peak mountain snowflake. Real winter certification stamped right on the sidewall. Parent company, Sumitomo, 6th largest in the world. Not tied to any of the American premium price ladders. Out the door price, we already saw it. $190 a tire in a size where BF Goodrich charges $245, and treadwear warranty, 65,000 miles, one of the honest promises in the segment. I'll give you the honest downsides because that's the deal I made with you. The Wild Peak Trail is not the tire for serious rock crawling. If you have a built off-road rig on huge tires, buy the heavier Wild Peak built for trucks instead. The Trail is a hair louder than a pure highway touring tire like a Michelin Cross Climate. And Falken doesn't have the dealership showroom marketing budget the flagships do. So nobody at a car dealer counter is going to lead with it. Those are real trade-offs. Run the 5 checks, add up the 4-tire total. Factor in that this is the only tire on that wall actually built for the SUV you drive. And Falken is the only brand of the 7 that passes clean. It isn't cheap because it's junk. It's cheap because the company selling it doesn't have a Michelin flagship to protect. One warning, because I've watched too many drivers overcorrect. The moment you learn about the badge tax, it gets tempting to buy the cheapest all-terrain on the shelf. Don't. There are budget brands with names you have never heard, without Sumitomo, Continental, Goodyear, or Toyo standing behind them. Their treadwear warranties are aspirational. Their load ratings are borderline. Their 3-peak snowflake ratings are missing entirely. A cheap all-terrain that doesn't match your door jamb specs isn't a bargain on a family SUV. It's a liability every mile you drive. The 5 checks separate the gold mine from the trap, not the price.